Hey everybody, Griever84 here, back with another Oxygen Not Included video. This one is going to be a little more uncut and raw because I'm going to show you the first 10 cycles of the clone lab that we started in last week's video. So as you can see here, we are in cycle 1. The game is currently paused. We have done absolutely nothing other than spawn into the world. Now, I usually recommend to brand new players, go ahead and hit spacebar, pause the game as soon as you get going here, because this allows you to kind of plan. This Oxygen Not Included is definitely a game of planning, building, tearing down, rebuilding, and otherwise manipulating your environment to get things the way that you want them to. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is go to your digging tool here and just dig out an area, okay? And we're just going to do this on each side. So there's going to be 100 tiles, and this was 100 tiles. Okay. Then I'm going to hit tab twice to speed things up so this isn't a terribly long video, and then I'm going to hit spacebar. And as you see, the duplicates are going to get straight to work. Now, things that we don't have right now. We don't have bathrooms, we don't have beds, and we don't have oxygen generation. Now the game's nice enough to give you some oxalite right when you start usually. So you want to focus on unearthing that so you can actually, oxygenate the area that you're opening up. And while you're looking, keep an eye out for pockets of water because that's what you're mainly looking for as well. Now, we're going to pause it again here because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to plumbing and we're going to put some outhouses down. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be 1 for each duplicate. So they'll build those up as they get to it. This way we don't have any accidents, we don't have early germs, and it just makes things nice and neater. Because your duplicates can usually survive about 1 cycle before they really start complaining about, not having bathrooms and things like that. Okay, so as you can see, we have outhouses now. They're working. It says no oxygen generator built, and colony requires a food source. We're going to fix these things here soon. Now on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the base tab. We're going to pick tile. Now I build my bases symmetrically. So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause because as you see they stop digging. And I'm going to go 2 over, and then I'm going to build all the way over to here. Okay. I'm also going to dig all that up as well in case anybody gets caught. Now the reason I do 2 is because one of these is going to be for the ladder that I'm going to eventually build here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then the other side is going to be for a technology that we unlock later called the fire pole. And that allows faster travel down than a ladder does. So okay, our duplicates are going to eat, so we're at the end of day 1. And they're just going to keep working here. Now, because we're at the end of day 1, we're probably going to have a couple messes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to priority 9 all of that. Because they're going to want to use the restroom as soon as they get up. So we might have a mess here. And this is just how this game goes sometimes. The duplicates do weird things. Okay, there they go. Off to the bathroom. Crisis averted. And then what we're going to do for cycle 2 here is we're going to go to furniture, cot, and we're going to put some furniture down. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now right now I'm just kind of like willy-nilly placing things, but like I said, this game is about planning. So I've got 100 tiles. Well, let's see, 100 minus 8, so I've got like 92 tiles here. Maybe 96 if I put another one down, which I think I will, to actually play with. And the reason why I say that is because that means I can build rooms. You might ask yourself, well, Griever, what are rooms and why do they matter? Okay, so we're going to pause here. Rooms matter because if you go over to the room overlay where my mouse is in the upper right hand corner here, and you click on that, you have a miscellaneous room that has no effect, okay? Basically, it's just enclosed by a wall tile. Technically, this counts as a miscellaneous natural room. So does this. You then have a latrine. Using a toilet in an enclosed room will improve your duplicant's morale. And this is why rooms are important, because the higher your morale is, the more skills you can gain on a single duplicant, and the more things that duplicant can do. And as you can see, there is a ton of different rooms, from latrines to barracks to bedrooms to mess halls, massage clinics, greenhouses, laboratories, parks and nature reserves, and more. So they're going to start working on these tiles, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up our next set of rooms up here and do the same thing. One, 2, 3, 4. 96. We're going to make sure this is 96, 92, 96. So we might have some water issues coming up here, and that's okay. Because eventually we're going to drain all this water down into this area. So now, just like before, we just kind of wait for our duplicates to clear the area out, and then we can start making some rooms. What I usually do is in this upper right area is where I'm going to make my first research station. So we just kind of have to wait for them to clear everything out and do that. So I'll probably speed the video up here for a little bit so they can dig through, and I will see you guys on the flip side. So welcome back, first off. It's 3 cycles in, we actually have our first printable. So what I did is I went ahead and paused the game. I'm going to click on my printing pod. I'm going to go to choose a blueprint. Now at this point we could add a new duplicant depending on what their skills are. So we're going to look at our guys and see what we got. So uncultured, cannot do decorating errands, decreased husbandry but increased strength. 3 science, we already have a researcher, so probably not May. Liam, increased decor. Machinery, husbandry, science, decreased strength, maybe. Snazzy suit's not bad. And we're not going to take RA because personally I don't like the narcoleptic trait. and if we weren't playing on no sweat mode, Biohazardous would be a very dangerous perk to take. So we're going to take the Snazzy Suit. And then we're going to unpause for a second, let them keep digging, and we'll give Amari the Snazzy Suit. So while they finish doing this, I'm going to start setting up the next thing here, which is our research. So remember what I said about rooms. What I usually do is, because remember, this is going to be the ladder. Then we have the fire pole next to it. Then I usually have a little landing tile. And then I put a door. So we're going to start there. We're going to go station, research station. And remember, there was a room, 2 science buildings, and a light source. So we don't have a light source. Oh, okay. Ceiling collapse. Okay. Once again, minor detour here where we have to possibly deal with a mess. There we go. Okay, they're good. They're off to use the bathroom real quick. I thought we were going to have another crisis. But we are going to put... So let's plan our room out here. Our laboratory requires 2 science buildings and a maximum size of 120 tiles. So I know my other big station is going to require 3 tiles. It's 3 tiles wide. And this is stuff that you'll learn as you play. So we're going to probably... I'm going to use my digging tool. So that's 32 tiles right there. So that's the minimum it has to be. So we'll say... We'll make it 44 tiles wide for now. So we'll put another door and 2 tiles here. And then this is going to be for power. So we'll have a couple of manual generators. Some batteries. And some wire. Now, here's something to keep in mind. There is a overlay called decor. Okay? As you can see, the decors in our base is not so great, but that's just because we're just getting started. Light and certain decorative items will improve the decor. Other things like, you know, debris will lower the decor. Exposed wire will lower the decor. People's outfits will lower the decor. Batteries will lower the decor. So you kind of want to sequester off certain areas of your base for low decor items, and eventually make sure that your rooms are big enough to accommodate decor items like paintings, statues, things like that. That's why I've been putting little gaps here, because I plan on putting decor items down in the future. So we have our research station, and we have our batteries down, and our generator is active. We're 4 cycles in, which means now we can choose our first research. Now, we still don't have an oxygen source set up yet. We don't have a food source set up yet. So, to give you kind of an idea, this is what the research tree looks like without the spaced out DLC. Remember, all of these videos are going to focus on non-spaced out content. So what I personally go for in the beginning is I go for a food source, which means I immediately want to research these farm tiles. So the way the game is set up, I can click on meal preparation. I'll automatically research basic farming and then research meal preparation when it becomes available. And the reason for that is as I build my base up here, I'll be able to put down a giant food room and use that to feed my duplicates. So that'll give us a food source as well, because right now we have 29,672 kcal of calories. And that's just the starting food with the nutrient bars that we get and the muck root that we've unearthed. So Amari's gonna get the batteries charged up while the other two get the other manual generator going. Now, I'm going to pause the game for a second here, and the reason for that is priorities. I want to talk about priorities for a minute here. And I know this is a lot to absorb in one video, which is why I said I'm trying to make it as simple as possible while still giving you guys the tools that you need to succeed at this game. So if you go to the priorities tab right up here, it's between schedule and skills. As you can see here, we have a list of new duplicates and then individual duplicates. Now, right off the bat, the X means that that specific duplicate will never perform that task. So Amari will never cook for us. A square like this means that that duplicate has a high score in that specific field. So we want to tell Camille that anytime there's a research task, they are to prioritize that very highly. And then we're going to do the same thing with Devin for cooking. And we'll leave the rest of them alone for now. Okay. Okay, now here's another thing. Devin is idle, as you can see from the notification right here. Now, why Devin's not jumping on the manual generator, I think it's because the batteries are almost full. But that means we need to start working on more things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a water source. And this is important because we need the water source for our food source that we're getting ready to build. So we're going to unpause it here and let Devin start digging and constructing the rest of the ladder. Okay, first research task is complete. They gave us the compost pile, the ration box, the planter box, and the algae terrarium. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check on my oxygen overlay. As you can see, air's starting to get a little thin. So we're going to take one oxygen diffuser, we're going to place it right here, and then I'm going to take that same power source that I have, and I'm going to run power right to it. Because we need to get oxygen built up. I waited a little too long to get that going, but there were some things that I needed to describe to you guys first so you could start getting set up. Now, as you can see, both research tasks are now done. So I have farm tiles. So now we go back to our room overlay. We look and we see, okay, greenhouse can be up to 96 tiles. So we're going to make another room. Just like we did before. And this one's going to be 88, 89, 90 tiles big, which is fine. We're going to skip the first 2 blocks here because that's going to be important to put something down later. And then we're just going to go all the way across here. And that's going to be our food source. So, we've got food started. We've got research started. We have beds for all of our duplicates. We have bathrooms for all of our duplicates. Oxygen will be on its way. In fact, let's actually prioritize that. So that way it gets done. And don't be afraid to reprioritize something in the early game just so it gets finished like that. So as you saw there, Camille lit up for a moment. That means they've got a skill point. So what you do is you go to your printing pod. You see where it says duplicate skills. You click on that. So Amari has a skill and it says Amari has a morale of 1 with a need of 0. If you have duplicates that have a need greater than their current morale, they'll start to suffer. And looking at his skills, excavation and strength. So we're going to go hard digging for Amari and give them the hard digging hat. And Camille is our researcher, so they get the researcher hat. And Devin is literally 3 XP from leveling up. And Devin's going to be our cook. Yep, there's the skill point. And as you can see here, they come down and they get a hat. Because hats are great. And I've mastered this job. Devin's going to go... Oh, Devin already has the cooking skill. So, as you can see here, if I were to pick up Grilling 2, which would allow me to use the spice grinder, my morale would actually be higher than my need would be higher than my morale. So, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to bank that experience point. Okay. So now that our tiles are starting to be put down for farm, that's going to give us food. And basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dump all of this water into the central bin here. At least that's my plan. So we'll give our duplicates a little bit of time to work on this. We're going to pick our next research though. And I think since we're going to be going with water manipulation, we're going to go liquid or plumbing into filtration, because that'll give us the liquid filter, the liquid pump, liquid bridge, liquid pipe, and the liquid vent. So we'll do that next. We'll check our auction overlay. Starting to fill up again here. Good, good. And because the pneumatic door, here's a trick you could actually do with this, but because the pneumatic door is actually mesh, it allows gases to flow back and forth between either side. But to save yourself some time, click on your pneumatic door, click open. And the reason for this is it saves a few seconds of your duplicates having to open the door, and it still does the same effect of creating a room, as you can see here. Miscellaneous room with no effect. So, okay, so now we have the option of getting another duplicate. Let's see. We have a researcher, we have a digger, and we have a cook. So, increased decor, decreased germ resistance, handy, immune to food poison, and decreased decor. None of these are great, and we're still kind of getting going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hatch eggs, and they'll act as a later food source. So we're going to print. And those hatches will, or those eggs will incubate at a very slow rate, 5% per cycle. So that's going to be food way on down the road that we can partake in. Okay, now we have enough farm tiles for the food that we have at the moment, that I want to plant, which is mealwood seeds. So what we're going to do is we're going to click our first tile. We're going to choose mealwood. It creates edible meal lice. Requires 10 to 30 degrees Celsius, 150 grams of minimum air pressure. The atmosphere has to be oxygen, polluted oxygen, or carbon dioxide. It requires 10 kilograms of dirt per cycle and must be planted in a planter's box, farm tile, or hydroponic farm. So we can do that. So we're going to plant, and then we're going to come over here where it says copy settings. We're going to click that and just all the way down. And this will plant all of our mealwood, and that means we'll have food going. So, food is started, so we need to pick a new research. We have our filtration. We're not going to upgrade to bathrooms yet. So let's go to... Let's get ourselves jumbo batteries. So that'll help out. Because then we can tear these batteries down and make jumbo batteries out of them. Not that we're necessarily needing bigger batteries, but it's nice to have early on. Okay, and our food is growing. Now, obviously we don't have enough mealwood seeds to use all of our farm tiles, but that's okay, because as we get more, they'll automatically plant them in the ones that we've told them to. So these 3 tiles, the next seeds we get, will automatically plant mealwood, and then we'll just keep growing and harvesting all the food we need. Okay. So we have our ladder here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up a dig errand. And I'm going to start hollowing this area out all the way down, so that we have one big pond. Now there is a danger to doing this, and I want to preface that before a few of you in the comments might be like, oh my god, Griever, what are you doing? If you don't take care of your outhouses and your duplicates make a mess, they might pee in your pond. So, to fix that, what I usually do, and what I'm going to do, hopefully before cycle 10, is build a water basin right here where my mouse is. and basically suck all the water up into that basin so that that can't happen. Now, will we get it done before cycle 10 and in this video? I don't know. But like I said at the beginning, this game is all about planning. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll dig those out. We'll check our oxygen overlay. Okay, good. We have oxygen where they sleep, which is the important part. And while they're sleeping, we'll go to the research, and we'll finally get our advanced research for our supercomputer. Another thing you can do is you can set your ration box to whatever priority you feel like. I like setting it to 9 because that means all of these muck roots that are just kind of sitting around get moved into the ration box as soon as possible. So you'll see them work on that. There's a skillet. Alright, let's see what furniture. We have mess tables. So what we can do for the time being is go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way they have somewhere to eat. And that's a compost pile, a gas filter, all of our liquid movement, egg cracker, grill, ration box, planter box, jumbo batteries, wire bridges. Okay, we have the water cooler and the crafting station. Okay, so we're going to deconstruct these 2 batteries and unfortunately waste some power doing so. And then we'll immediately build a jumbo battery. So just like before, drop a couple doors. And this will give us a small room. Minimum of 12 tiles, so 4, 8, 12, 16. No industrial machinery, and it gives us +3 morale. And as you can see, we have a mess hall. Go ahead and open all of our doors here. Okay. So, 8 cycles so far. We have a functioning research area, which we can put our supercomputer down on now. And a skill scrubber in case you ever want to reset your points to your duplicates. We're going to connect that. As we get the doors open. And they disinfect everything. Alright, we'll give them a second to actually get some things built here before we choose our next research. The reason for that is so they don't get kind of overwhelmed with what they're doing. We should be getting a new printable option here, yep, in half a cycle. So we might be adding a new duplicate, but we'll see. Check our oxygen. It's doing good. Okay. Deconstruct our small batteries to upgrade to another big one. So they can hold a lot more power. Okay, so we're going to pause the game again because we see the idle message here. That means everything that we've got queued up has a duplicate assigned to it already. So we're going to slap some dig tasks down and then unpause it. And we're also going to drop a wash basin down because we haven't done that yet. Okay. Now we're going to have a lot more power to get through the overnights. Okay, there's our printables. Okay. I think we have a excavator in Abe. Germ resistant, 11 excavation, maintain a high morale, duplicate lose more skills. So they're an unpracticed artist. And they've decreased medicine. So yeah, we're gonna go with Abe. So welcome to the colony. So we're gonna pause here. And we're going to go to furniture, cot, add a cot for Abe. Actually, we need to fix this. We're going to cancel that. They'll probably have to sleep on the floor for a little bit, for a cycle. Because I'm going to shift all the beds over one. Yep. And that's okay. Okay, our wash basin is built. I usually try to do 2 to maybe 3 duplicates per bathroom or outhouse as a maximum. In my current world that I play on stream, it's a little bit more than that, so just know that you might run into problems if you go over that. And there's ways that you can calculate out specifically how many outhouses you're going to need per duplicate and how much oxygen and all that stuff. But that's not something we're getting into in this video. So 1, 2, 3... Actually, let's use some skins. Cancel. Furniture. I forgot about my Stargazer cots. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Alright. Now let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll dig all this out, and hopefully they'll get to that soon. As you can see, the first of our food is being harvested, so that's good. And this is what our base looks like after 10 cycles. Now, some of it's a little excessive, but it's gonna be important when we get further on. See, they're delivering all the muck root. To make sure our food is stored properly. Alright. The other thing that building this area does right now is it sinks all of our carbon dioxide to the bottom of the base, and that allows our duplicates to actually not suffocate when they're working. So we're going to do that and start working on our water basin. We're also going to add a pitcher pump right there. And what that'll do is that'll allow us to fill our water basin up here so that our duplicates can wash their hands, because there's germs. As you can see, even the ladders are starting to get germy. The door, some of the farm tiles. We don't want germs, especially if you're playing on normal mode. So alright. And then they are going to sleep, and that is going to be cycle 10. So we've managed to get ourselves a mess hall, what's going to be a laboratory, what's going to be a greenhouse. We're going to make ourselves a latrine starting with the next video, and we're going to continue building our water basin. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, this watch through. Make sure to leave a subscription on the channel if you like that. Next video coming next week is going to be cycle 11 through 20 and what to kind of focus on there, and just kind of walk you through steps of creating your own bases. Now, you don't have to build your base just like mine. That's perfectly fine. Each base is supposed to be unique in the way that you do it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them as they come in. And of course, leave a like on the video if this helped. So if you look in the, I believe it's going to be in the upper right hand corner here, I'm going to link the playlist so you can start at the beginning if you happen to catch one of these videos later on out of order. And thank you guys for watching. Take care. And I'll see you next time, my guardians. GG.